Hello and welcome back. You're tuned into Market Fatafat, where we are taking you through all the stocks that are buzzing away in trade. And we are joined by Ashish, Kyal, Strategy Advisors, joining in on the technical side now. Ashish, hi, welcome to Market Fatafat. Now let's go to the stock that you've picked out for us. You've picked out Oracle Financial Services Software for us. In the last 6 months, this stock has given us gains of more than 85%, 87% actually. Are you seeing more upside? How should one play this counter?
Yes, if you look at OFSS, Oracle Financial Services, it has shown a very spectacular move on the upside. And currently also it is just consolidating in a range and giving a strong breakout. So I think the stock is going to head towards the lifetime high of above 8,200 levels. So long positions can be created here. And on the downside, one can maintain a stop loss of 7,600.
All right, Ashish, thanks for that view coming in. Let's talk about another stock that's down and out in today's trading session, and that's Indiabulls Real Estate, because shares of Indiabulls Real Estate took a beating, falling over 10% in today's trade after the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, that's the MIDC, issued a vacation order directing an Indiabulls arm to vacate the land area measuring 5.12 lakh hectares in processing zone of such SEZ at Sinnar, which is in Nashik in Maharashtra, within 1 month of the receipt of the order. Now, calling the order unlawful, Indiabulls Real Estate said that it is evaluating all of its legal options to defend itself or to seek redressal against the said order, including filing of an appeal before the appropriate authorities or the court. It said the realtor would take all desirable actions in the matter going ahead. So, well, on the back of this order that they've got to vacate the land in the Nashik district, the stock is down 9%, was down 10% in the day, but yes, beaten down in the red as we speak.
Well, coming to you, Ashish, you picked up Pedite Industries for us. Why Pedite? In the last 6 months, it hasn't really done much for the investors. Do you think it is about time it will start moving up?
Yes, it looks like, because the stock has shown a very strong bullish pattern that has actually broken the high of prior 4 days of candle and is giving a very strong technical breakout. So I think in this kind of a market where the volatility is high, Pedite is showing a sustainable up move with huge volumes. So it can head towards the level of around 2,900 on the upside, and on the downside, one can maintain a stop loss at around 2,700 level.
All right, moving on to another stock in focus today, VPRO. Now, this is on the back of the fact that the company has bought 27% stake in SDVerse LLC for $5.85 million in cash. Now, the objective of this is that the investment into SDVerse strengthens Vipro's positioning as a leader in the software-defined vehicle cloud car engineering services. Now, the transaction is aligned with Vipro's strategic focus on embedded software for the automotive sector. Plus, the transaction is expected to be completed before the end of March 2024 for a total consideration, like I mentioned, of $5.85 million in cash. And the percentage of the holding that Wipro will have is around 27%. And General Motors, Magna and Wipro will be teaming up to develop automotive software marketplace with the SDVerse. And that's the news flow coming on Wipro. But currently, the stock is trading with a cut of 1% in trade right now.
Well, all right, and let's talk about the stock that has been making a buzz ever since the RBI notice came yesterday. And Ashish, after IFL Finance, now the RBI has cracked its whip on JM Financial, isn't it? Take us through what's happening.
Well, yes, it clearly is the stock of the day, down nearly 19% as we speak. And yes, as you mentioned, it is on the back of RBI action that came in yesterday post-market hours, where RBI has barred JM Financial from financing against shares and debentures. JM Financials cannot disperse loans against IPO of shares. And just to give you some perspective, LAS or loans against securities makes about 8.6% of JM Financials' total loan book as on the 31st of December 2023. RBI further said that action against JM Financial is due to serious deficiencies, and serious deficiency was observed in IPO financing and NCD subscriptions, and that the company was repeatedly helping a group of customers to bid for various IPOs and NCDs. So on the back of this regulatory action that has come in, the stock is in focus, down over 19% as we speak, has not recovered from the lowest point of the day.
Well, it is important to mark the markets right now. Nifty has recovered. It's showing a recovery of almost 157 points. It is sitting currently at 22,381, recovery of 0.7%. But still, Nifty Media is a sector that is completely knocked down and out in trade today as well. But coming to you, Gaurav, PFC and REC is what you have picked out for us. I believe it is on the back of a note by CLSA for the power financiers. Take us through the note.
Both are buzzing today because this is on the back of the CLSA's power financials note, and where CLSA has now kept the price for PFC unchanged at 550 rupees, while for REC they have increased the target price to 560 rupees. So what they believe is that this is basically coming because one of the company, Lanco Amarkantak, has filed for insolvency, and as per the resolution plan, both the companies PFC and REC may get some of the provisions that they have written earlier back in Q4 FY24. So if you look at the company profile, PFC has an exposure of 23.8 billion rupees in this company, and REC has exposure of 22 billion rupees. And they both have provided somewhere in the range of 75 to 76%. And as per the media reports, they suggest that we may see some 30 odd percentage of recovery from the insolvency. And on back of this, now if you look at PFC's plan for Q4 FY24, they already have a few of the resolution project worth 5 billion rupees for Q4 FY24, and for REC they have projects worth 30 billion in the recovery for Q4 FY24. And along with this, if this company's insolvency resolution works out, they may get some more recoveries coming up in a Q4 FY24, and that is why both the stocks were buzzing. And if we also look at the stock price, they both were up almost 1% in today's trade. So definitely it's worth keeping an eye on both of these stocks from here on.
Alright, Gaurav, we will be keeping an eye out on both of these stocks. But Ashish, let's talk technicals again. And IndusInd Bank is the stock that you're pointing out for us. Rather flat moves coming in the last 6 months. So what are you spotting on the charts?
See, IndusInd Bank, if you check over the past 4 to 5 days, has shown a very strong recovery from the lows of 1440. It formed a triple bottom kind of a pattern, broke out about 1520 and is now sustaining. So the pattern target on the upside for the stock is at 1640. One can create long positions here, and on the downside maintain a stop loss at 1530 levels.
Alright, with that, let's talk about Kumar Infra, because that stock is also in focus today. Now, Kumar Infra has bagged a project worth 912.3 crore rupees to design and construct the coastal road at Ulve in Navi Mumbai, and this is what the company informed the stock exchanges today. Kumar Infra won the letter of award in the capacity of a sole bidder from CIDCO. The stock exchange filing said the coastal road will be constructed at the MTHL junction at Ulve. Remember, yesterday also the company had announced that it had received multiple projects in conjunction with its joint ventures, with total orders, with the orders totaling to 1,822.7 crore rupees. So, well, the news flow is positive, but the stock has succumbed to the external market pressure and down 1.7% as we speak.
Coming to you then, Ashish, you have picked out Bank of Baroda for us. Now, this counter has been picked out by, our techie yesterday also with a, upside of 300. It has already reached to 282. What is the upside that you are giving us, and how do you play this counter?
See, Bank of Baroda has been strongly outperforming. We can clearly see it has been forming higher lows ever since it formed a low around November of last year, and it has continued to do that. So in this outperformance, I think it's best to use any kind of a dip as buying opportunity. The upside target for the stock is going to be around 310 from here on, and one can maintain a stop loss for the stock at around 272 levels.
All right, 310 is the upside you're seeing on Bank of Baroda then. Moving on to the other stock that is buzzing in trade, and that is Aavas Financiers. Now, well, in Aavas Financiers, the foreign promoters, Lake District Holdings, Partner Group, ESCL and Partner Group Private Equity collectively have sold 1,369 crore worth of stake. The Lake District held 22% in the company till December 2023, while the partner group ESCL had 11% stake, and of course the partner group private equity had 4.9% stake in the company. Meanwhile, another block deal, SBI Mutual Fund acquired 63 lakh shares, 7% stake, at an average price of 1,370 rupees per share. Amnasa Holdings again picked up a 2% stake in the company, and Lake District, if you see, held around 22% stake in the company, and the partner group ESCL held around 11%, and partner private equity held around 5% stake in the company. So big block deal coming on August Financiers. The stock is up more than 1.5% right now.
All right, viewers, with that, we'll slip into a short break on this edition of Market Fatafat. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi there, welcome back. You're still watching Market Fatafat with us on ET Now. Let's take you through all the stocks that are buzzing. And Ashish, you've picked out KPI Green Energy for us. This stock holding up smartly in a market that's otherwise beaten down. So tell us what's happening with the company. Why have you picked it out for our viewers?
Well, yes, it was on the back of an order win that came in. The stock saw a sharp spike when the company informed the exchanges about the order win at the highest point of the day, nearly 3% higher as we speak. So the company informed the exchanges that they've received new orders aggregating to nearly 9.4 megawatt for executing solar power projects. Now, out of the total 9.4 megawatt project, about 5 megawatt capacity will be undertaken by the company itself, and the balance 4.4 megawatt will be undertaken by a company's wholly owned subsidiary, which is KPIG Energia Private Limited. The company also said that it will be executed under CPP segment, or the captive power producer segment. So on the back of this order win that came through, the stock has recovered sharply from the lowest point of the day, nearly 3.2% higher as we speak.
All right, going to you, Ashish. Now, Sun Pharma is the stock that you picked out for us. So, this stock is seeing an uptrend. In the last 6 months also, it's given us a gain of 40-odd%. Today also, the stock is up more than 1.5%. Is the uptrend going to be intact, and what is the upside that you see for Sun Pharma?
Yes, if you look at Sun Pharma, the overall trend will remain positive. We can clearly see a strong movement on the upside, and the stock is touching 52-week high. It bounced back from its 20 days average as well. So I think the stock can head towards the level of 1650 over near term, and maybe much more higher from there on. And on the downside, one can maintain a stop loss for the stock at around 1560 levels.
Ashish, now let's move on and let's talk about an ET Now exclusive, because NBCC is negotiating with various PSUs to monetize their land assets. ET Now has learned from sources that the government has assigned NBCC to redevelop the non-core assets of various PSUs. My colleague Prakash Priyadarshi is joining in with more details. Prakash, take it away.
Yes, we're learning from our sources that the NBCC has prepared a mega plan to monetize land assets of various PSUs. We are given to understand that the company is under active discussion with various PSUs to monetize their land assets. That includes companies like ITA, Prasar Bharati, MTNL, BSNL, BHEL, ITA, among others. So we are given to understand that the NBCC to monetize land assets of around 3,000 acres of Prasar Bharati, around 10,000 acres of BSNL, 380 acres of ITA, among others. And MOUs with some of the PSUs will be signed within the next 2 months. Sources are informing that around 1 lakh acres of land assets that is associated with PSUs will be developed by NBCC going forward, and company is under active discussion with various public sector undertakings. Along with that, these land assets will be developed under various segments, like for commercial purpose, for some of the land parcels will be developed for housing requirements. Along with that, NBCC will redevelop some of the land parcels for the company's own use. Sources are also saying that the company is also under active discussion with the various state governments for the construction of mega warehousing complexes in order to provide better pricing freedom to the farmers.
All right, Prakash, thanks for those details. NBCC will be a stock in focus on the back of that news flow. But let's keep it going with the stocks, and let me talk about Ajmera Realty. Now, that company has successfully secured credit facilities of 500 crore rupees from Standard Chartered Bank as well as ICICI Bank. Now, the funds will be used for the execution of Ajmera Manhattan, a residential project in Mumbai's Wadala area. A sum of 200 crores will be used for the partial prepayment of the GCP loan that they had availed from HDFC Bank, the company has said in a statement, and the company's said it secured the deal at a lower cost compared to the prevailing rates, and through the structured deal, it advanced the payment of the GCP loan as well. So, all positive news flow coming in, but once again, the stock is in tandem with the markets, at least how they were moving earlier in the day. Stock down 1.7% as we speak.
Well, coming to you, Gaurav, then LTI Mindtree is a stock that you picked out for us. I believe it is on the back of a deal with Saudi Aramco. Take us through the deal details and what does the deal say?
Yes. So LTI Mindtree is definitely going to be in focus because it executed a shareholders agreement with Global Digital Integrated Solution Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Saudi Aramco, and they are going to set up a joint venture, and this joint venture will help the company to provide information technology services in the region of Middle East and North Africa. Now, if you look at the investment, LTI Mindtree has invested almost $12.3 million in this JV, and LTI Mindtree will have almost 51% of the stake in the JV. So if you look at the expansion plan for LTI Mindtree, this will definitely help the company to expand in the international market, and that is why this news is very important for the company and its growth from here on. And that is why if we look at the stock price as well, it went and it reached the bottom level for the day, and now it has recovered. So basically that is why we should keep an eye on LTI Mindtree from here on as well.
Alright, Gaurav, thanks for that. Ashish, let me come back to you on the technicals. Let's talk about ICICI Prudential, because that's the stock you've picked out for our viewers. 6 months, no moves at all, hardly 2.5% uptick. So tell us, what are you pointing out on the charts for this stock?
See, ICICI Prudential, if you look at it formed a very classic bottom around 520 levels from where the momentum started picking up. I think the stock is going to outperform from here on, and it is just beginning to do that. The upside target remains at around 600 levels, and on the downside one can maintain a stop loss of around 550.
Alright, moving on to another stock, NHPC, that is in focus today. Now, this stock gained over 3% in the morning, but it has given up those gains and currently trading towards the day's lowest point. It is trading flat right now. It is after a day the state-run power company said it has started developing a 1,200 megawatts of Jalao Ultra Renewable Energy Power Park in Uttar Pradesh, and the solar park will be developed by Bundelkhand Saur Urja, a subsidiary of the National Hydropower Corporation, with an investment of 796 crore rupees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually laid the cornerstone for the park earlier, and the Bundelkhand Solar Energy is commencing with the construction of the park, which has to be completed within the next 2 years, and it will generate around 2,400 megawatts of energy, and that's the news flow coming in on NHPC, and that's the reason why the stock is in focus today, currently trading flat with the cut of 0.4%.
Alright, well, let's talk about yet another stock in focus today, and Ashesha, that's Havells. I believe positive news flow but negative stock move, so tell us what's happening.
Back of their expansion plans, where the company yesterday said that they will be expanding its existing product portfolio with introduction of kitchen appliances. The new venture is expected to bring benefits in synergy with the current portfolio. The company in fact aims to be one of the top 3 market players over a period of 3 years from the start of operations. So on the back of these expansion plans that came through, the stock is in focus. The stock of course in line with the market is declining in trade, nearly 1.5% lower in trade as we speak.
Alright, coming to you then, Gaurav, you picked up Grasim for us today. Tell us what is penciled in for this one?
Well, yes, for Grasim, what has happened is that Morgan Stanley has now maintained overweight rating, but has now increased the target price to 2,610 rupees. So what they believe is that Grasim can actually disrupt the decorative paint market in India from the years coming ahead. And because and on back of this, if you look at the company's guidance of 10,000 crore rupees of the revenue by FY28, that looks a little exaggerated for Morgan Stanley. But overall, if you look at the Grasim, they have an advantage with Ultratech's existing dealers. They also have industry's second largest sales team with the help of Ultratech, and that is why we may see some disruption coming up in the paint segment from Grasim. And on back of this, we may also see some strong volumes coming up from the company, and they may also gain market share. And on back of this, we saw they are being a little bullish on Grasim, where they have increased the target price to 2,610 rupees. And that is why this stock is definitely worth keeping an eye on from here on.
Alright, Gaurav, thanks for taking us through that. That's the news flow on Grasim. But viewers, that was the last stock that we were covering for you today on Market Fatafat. So thanks to Gaurav, Ashesha, Nagraj, as well as Nagraj as well as Ashish, pardon me, for joining us on today's show. And that's a wrap on this edition of Market Fatafat. From me, Ankita, and the team that put this show together. Thanks so much for watching. Closing Trades takes all the action ahead.